welcome to our farmhouse cottage. I'm Melody and this is Willie. If you stumbled across this video, thank you for stopping by. If you like farmhouse flips, trash to treasure, small builds, you should really enjoy my content. If you wouldn't mind, hit that subscribe button and be sure your notifications are on so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Now let's get to our craft.
Today we're going to make this just darling bunny tray. I started off with an 18-inch wood round and I cut it in half. Actually, I had my husband cut it in half. Then I took this green floral wire from Dollar Tree, actually, I believe, and I strung on a bunch of beads. I'm not sure how many I put on there exactly, but I'm showing you there what floral wire it is. It might be from Walmart, I'm not sure. I strung them on there, and I'm going to show you how I twisted this bead on there. I just kind of strung it up from behind or underneath, and I pushed it through. I believe I did that twice, maybe. Yeah, I did it twice, and then once I get that through there, I'm going to take that down. I'm going to pull it down, and you're going to see me, I'm going to twist it around the bottom of that bead just to disguise the wire. There I am, just kind of twisting it around. And then we're going to go ahead and cut off the excess. I'm still twisting around. Okay, here we go. I'm going to cut off my excess wire as close as I can so that the little pokey's not hurting anybody. So there I am. I got my little, I guess, rope of beads or whatever. I'm going to glue them down. I recommend using something like E6000 or wood glue and letting it dry, but for the purposes of the video, I'm using hot glue. And I'm just going to glue them all down all the way around, just across the front. They didn't need to go around the back, unless that's just what you want. That's an option. You make it your own. This is just what I did. There I am, just kind of gluing them down. Really quick, if you guys don't mind, if you like this video, smash that like button. It really helps YouTube notice me more. I don't know if you noticed, but this is my first ever video, my first ever voiceover, my first ever anything on YouTube. So if you hit that like button, it really would help me a lot. I would greatly appreciate it. But here I am now. I got all my beads affixed to my wood. I'm just picking off the little strings. You see the glue all across it, but that's okay. We're just going to let it do its thing. I believe we're going to end up setting this to the side. I believe. I'm still trying to pick at it, trying to get all that stuff off of there. Okay, one of them beads weren't all the way on, so I'm just going to glue it on there, make sure it's all on there nice and secure. As best as you can with hot glue and wood. Try to get my little strings off. And there it is. I'm just showing you it's on there. And that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so now I take my linen white chalk paint by Rust-Oleum, and we're just going to paint it. And there's my little paintbrush, showing you my paintbrush. I'm trying to show you which one I'm using. It's a number 12, I believe, but I can't remember what brand that is. It doesn't really matter. You're just getting the paint on there. You can use whatever you want. What I'm doing is I'm just going to paint, get into all those cracks, try to get it as much coverage as I can. As you see, that can of Rust-Oleum chalk paint, I've had that around for actually quite some time now. I usually go through that stuff so fast because I'm constantly painting stuff. There I am. I'm just showing you how I'm doing it. I believe the process, we're going to speed it up here in just a few seconds. I'm just showing you how I'm covering everything. You want everything covered. That's just my preference. You do what you like. You make it how you want it to look. If you want to paint it purple for, if that's your style and that's what you want, you paint it purple. But I just painted mine white. There it is. Sped it up quite a bit for you. But this tray turns out really cute. It's not gigantic, but it's a good size. It's really cute to store, like, or not store, but to display like little carrots and some eggs maybe. It turns out really cute, and it's very pretty for Easter or just the spring season. It works out great. There I am, just getting in the cracks, showing you how I get in the cracks. You really have to kind of flip this thing around and kind of maneuver it so you can get down in there. And then there it is, all done. Now we're going to set this aside to dry. Now here comes this other piece of wood. I know I cut it out, or I actually had my husband cut it out and drill those little holes in it. But there is another option, and I'm going to show you, because I actually traced around that bunny, and I'm going to lay it down there and show you. But I actually traced around it on that piece of wood to give me a good template. The only difference is I cut the ears off, and the little poofy, like, fluffiness of the cheeks, I took that part off. Excuse me. There I am, going to paint it with some Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular. You just want to get around the edges, get it up. You see, even the back of that wood, that was just a used piece of wood that I had. I used it for something else before. I used it on this project. I just needed a piece of wood. And because I knew I was going to paint it, it really didn't matter what I used it for prior. It was actually excess. There's that floral wire that I used for my bunny ears. I actually got those at Walmart. They're already pre-cut, but they actually were like the perfect size for my ears. So I used that, and I bent it just to make a little bunny ear, and that piece of cloth there is called drop cloth. I bought that from Walmart. I actually bought several of those because I use them for all kinds of stuff. But there I am. I'm just laying my little ear down, and we're going to glue that ear down, the inner ear, I guess you'd call it. We're going to glue it down to the drop cloth. And don't worry, you're not going to see that. Once it's all done, you're not going to see that glue. You're not going to see that wire. You're not going to see any of that. And it turns out so cute. You guys are really going to like this if you try it. But again, make it your own. It doesn't have to be, the same colors or the same fabrics or anything like that. You make it how you want to make it your own, according to your style. There I am using a skewer stick to make sure I don't burn myself, because for some reason I couldn't find my little finger protectors, but that worked. It worked well enough for me. There I am still. I'm just kind of getting it on there. It turns out so cute, though. You guys are going to like this. And I'm just going to hold it down in certain places that we're kind of lifting, which is fine. It will straighten out. You could straighten it out. If it's not perfectly straight, you can fix that. Your main goal right here is just to get it on the fabric. I had to grab my special scissors because, the pair I had wasn't working very well on certain projects, so I just pulled my fabric scissors out, and there I am. I'm about to glue my second piece down. I'm gonna get it down on there too. And there I am going to use my little skewer stick again just to make sure it's on there. And I'm showing you it doesn't have to be done in any particular way. You just want to get that ear on there. The glue, the hot glue really holds that on there well against the cloth. And that wire actually is wrapped in some kind of string, so it really holds well. You don't have to worry about your little wire popping off of the fabric or, you know, any of that. And there I am. I'm just cutting around the ear as close as I can get it. Trying not to go through my hot glue at this point because I didn't want it all over my scissors. And the glue was still hot. I don't know why I didn't do the other one first, but I didn't. Because that one was still pretty hot. I should have just let it sit there. But, you know, it ain't fun unless we do it the hard way. That's me. So there we are, just cutting around. And I'm just going to trim the bottom there so that my little wires are poking out. I'm going to set that to the side there. See how it stuck to my finger? It was still wet. I should have just did the other one first. And now we're going to cut around this one. And that's when I realized I glued too far down on my little ear. So I'm just going to fix that problem right here and just cut that bottom off first. And then I'm going to cut around that ear. It doesn't have to be perfect. I promise you'll see why. My husband actually edits my videos, and this is one of the first ones he's done, and he did a really good job for me. And I'm just showing you what the other side looks like. And now I'm going to show you this material. I've actually had it for a while. This is like the leftover piece. This kind of material you cannot just cut with scissors, because if you do, the fur turns out kind of wonky. So what I'm doing is I'm going to lay this down, and I'm just going to kind of trace around it with a pencil. There I am on the side there, out of frame, looking for my pencil. So I'm like, I'm going to try this pen. Nope, it doesn't work. Okay. So here I am, still looking for a pencil. There it is. Now we're just going to trace around our ear. You want to trace all the way around it, even the bottom. I'm going to lift it up and see what all I got. Finish tracing around the other side. And there it is. Now I take my X-Acto knife. And what you want to do is you want to cut along that line just like that. Just through that layer of fabric. You don't want to go so deep where you're cutting the fur, because the fur, it will cut off straight and the edges of your fur won't be so fluffy. It'll just be like a straight cut. It's like when you have, because I have kids. I don't know how many of you have kids. I'm assuming quite a bit of you do. But you ever seen those little kids that give themselves a haircut? They cut their bangs and they cut them all just weird and they're all straight and short and right to the scalp almost. That's kind of what that looks like. It reminds me of if you cut that with scissors. So I just cut it with an X-Acto knife. Actually, I think at some point I swapped out my knife because the blade on this one was kind of dull. Yeah, it's giving me a hard time. It's the story of my life. But anyways, I think here in just a few minutes you're going to see me swap it out. But the X-Acto knife, it shouldn't give you a hard time. So if you have a really nice fresh blade on there, it should cut through that pretty quick and pretty simply. But this was just like everything, you know. Not every one of your crafts are going to go as smoothly as you like. You'll see in a lot of people's videos, accidents happen, mistakes are made. And I'm just showing you there when I said, you know, you cut all the way around. So I cut both of my ears out. You see the little fluffiness on the side there. And I'm going to trim that down just a little bit more because I didn't need that much fabric. But like I said, I didn't want to get my scissors all gunked up with the hot glue. So I waited till they were completely dry, and here we go. See how close to the wire? So there I am. I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to glue it on there. Just all the way around the ear. You want it all the way around. Then I'm going to take a little bit of glue and I'm going to fold that edge over just like that. And fold. It brings some of that cuteness inside and makes it, you know, gives it more interest. These little ears are so cute when they're done. They're just cute. I'm still just kind of fiddling with it, trying to get all the fur wrapped around that little wire and folding that the inside, the inner part around. And then, you know, you're going to fluff your fur up once your glue is dried. That's the outside. That's the inside. So here we are back to the bunny. We're going to distress him a little bit. Because, you know, we like a little distressing in our lives. Farmhouse, love it. So there we go. I'm just kind of sanding around. You don't have to do the back of it, just the front. Because it's one of those little, tray tables or risers or whatever you want to call it that you put it up against the wall. You can even hang it, which is cute. I'm cleaning up my mess because you don't want to. Now I'm doing a little wet distressing here with a baby wipe. Nothing really distresses chalk paint as good as a baby wipe. I don't know what it is. So here I am, just going to sand the little shelf. Sand my little beads. I'm not sure what size beads those are. I've had them for a really long time as well. I'm just going to go around and sand a little bit. Plus with chalk paint it leaves a little bit of texture on it, which is okay. It's not going to hurt anything, but when you sand it a little bit or wet distress it, it takes some of that like roughness away. So there I am sanding some more. Taking that roughness off of it. Giving it some good distressing. Not too much, just a little bit. Just enough. Just a settle amount of distress. Not a subtle amount. Excuse me. I'm just wiping down my area again. Here we go. And back to the bunny. Now I don't know what was going on there. A little bit of the black paint was showing through, so I'm just kind of touching it up with my paintbrush. Wrapping my paintbrush in the wipe so it keeps it moist. And now the ears. You want to get those little pieces of the wire poking through and flip that down. Glue it. There we go. And fold it in. And we're going to poke those right in the hole there. And see how it looks. Okay. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I like that. I really like that. It looks really cute. Everything is going pretty well. I realized that one side wasn't going in far enough because the wire was still too long on the end. So I just kind of tried it out. I'm going to put some little glue down in there. I'm sorry, it's out of frame. But we're going to shove the little hole, the little ears down into the holes. And I'm going to give it a little extra hot glue. And just kind of make sure that my excess is wiped off. We're going to do the same thing with the other ear. See there, it doesn't take a whole lot because we're really going to affix it here in a minute. And we're just going to push that down on there. Hold it into place. And we'll fluff those up and make them really cute. Now we're going to take that hair and we're going to separate it a little bit. And we're going to, there we go. We're going to staple it down. It's not going anywhere. And then you'll see, do the same thing with the other one. Trying to separate the hair a little bit there so you can get it down on the top. And there we go. Fluff it out. And there we go. That's the back of our bunny. And there's the front. Now we adjust the little hair. We bend our little ears how we want them to be bent. See how cute that is? Isn't that just cute? Now this is, I took a piece of this. It was a stir stick. It was a gallon stir stick, I think, or a 2-gallon. I'm not sure. And I drilled some holes in it. Now here's where I went wrong. Here's where things went south. So I'm marking it on there and I'm getting it all ready. Got my holes on there, so I think I'm doing good. I think we're going somewhere. So we get my little bunny on there, and you're going to see I apply a little hot glue so it stays down for me while I get my little holes ready, right? I'm showing you. Those are the screws I'm using. Tiny little screws. Get it on there. The top two turn out just fine. Everything seems fine. Everything's going good. And then I put it on there and I screw it in and things go really wrong. I realized that my hole was not in the place I needed it to be. My hole was too high on the wood shelf. It was too high, so the screw would just go right underneath the bunny, and you wouldn't even, the screw wouldn't even go into the wood. But I'm like, okay, I'll just lower the screw. It should be fine, right? No worries. And then this is the moment I realized my wood cracks. So the piece of wood that I was using, it broke. It cracked. But I'm like, okay, it's done. You know, it'll be okay. When the video is over, I'll just put a new piece of wood on there and all will be fine. Right? No. So here I am, still trying to mess with it. Still getting it in there. Maybe my husband edited it out. Yeah, no, he didn't. Okay, here we go. So I'm showing you guys. Look at how cute. Look at how cute this is. And you'll see here in just a second. Watch. And boom. That's when you know things go wrong. So, okay, at this point, I just want to let you know I cut a new piece of wood, drilled the holes right. It all worked out. Everything was nice and sturdy. So here I am deciding what flower I want to put on my little bunny's ear to finish this little thing off. Because sometimes less is more. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I glue my little petals down so that it doesn't fall apart while it's on my bunny. Because, you know, that happens too. So I'm going to take my little scissors and cut the little plastic piece off so it's not like bumped out too far or leaned weird. So here I am just gluing the single rows on there. And it's done. She looks so cute. Everything turned out nicely. I was so happy. Now, if you wanted to, you could really jazz it up and put a bunch of flowers around its head or put a little bow tie on it or whatever. But because I figured, you know, I'm going to have like trinkets or, you know, something on my little shelf, I didn't want to overdress the bunny. But there it is in all its glory. There's our little bunny. And it really didn't take long.